You ever find yourself staring at a spec sheet and wondering if that monstrous laptop is really the right fit for your day-to-day work, or if you'd be better off spending that money on a lighter Ultrabook and a separate desktop rig for the heavy lifting? Who is this actually good for, who should skip it, and is it worth the price for normal everyday buyers? These are the questions that keep a lot of folks up at night, especially when the price tag feels like a leap into a different league. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, because before we dive deeper, let's acknowledge the hesitation that comes with a machine that's marketed as a 16-inch mobile workstation with a 13th Gen i7 and a 38402400 display. First off, the HP ZBook Fury G11 isn't a just-an-author laptop that you toss into a backpack and take to a coffee shop. It's a full-blown workstation that's built to sit on a desk for long stretches, then lifted occasionally for site visits or client meetings. That means the target audience is people who need desktop-class performance on the go, architects drafting BIM models, video editors rendering 8K footage, and data scientists running large-scale simulations. If you're a freelance graphic designer who mostly works in Photoshop and Illustrator, you'll probably find a more modest 15-inch Pro laptop cheaper and lighter enough to be truly portable. Conversely, if you're a CAD engineer who regularly opens multi-gigabyte assemblies in SolidWorks, the need for a robust CPU, plenty of RAM, and a high-resolution panel becomes a daily reality, not a nice-to-have. One of the first practical strengths that shows up when you actually use the ZBook Fury is its processing muscle. The 13th Gen Intel Core i7-13850HX packs 16 cores, 8 performance cores, and 8 efficiency cores, giving you headroom for multi-threaded workloads without throttling. In real life, that translates to being able to run a full rendering of a 3D scene in Blender while simultaneously having Visual Studio, a web browser with dozens of tabs, and a virtual machine open for testing. The workflow doesn't grind to a halt. Instead, you see incremental progress across tasks, which is a big win for anyone juggling multiple professional apps. For a typical office worker who only toggles between Word, Excel, and email, that extra compute power feels overkill, and the higher price may not justify the performance surplus. Memory is another area where the device shines for its intended audience. With 32 GB of DDR5 RAM soldered in, you can keep large datasets in memory while running analytics tools like Power BI or Python notebooks. The SSD, a full 1 TB NVMe drive, gives you rapid load times for hefty project files. Think 100 MB Photoshop PSDs or gigabyte-size video clips. In testing, opening a 500 MB After Effects project took under 10 seconds, and the system remained snappy even after a few hours of continuous editing. For a writer or a student who mainly handles documents and PDFs, you'll probably never fill that storage, and a smaller, cheaper SSD would have been sufficient. Now, there are hidden trade-offs you might not see on the feature list. The 16-inch 38402400 UHD Plus panel looks gorgeous on paper, but on a workstation that leans heavily on performance, the battery life takes a hit. In a typical office setting with the screen brightness at 150 nits, you can expect roughly 5 hours of unplugged use before you need to find a power outlet. If you're used to ultralight laptops that squeeze out 8 to 10 hours, you'll need to plan charging breaks into your day. That's not a deal-breaker for a stationary workstation, but it matters if you intend to rely on the machine for on-the-road presentations. Thermal management is another practical consideration. The ZBook Fury uses a sophisticated cooling system with multiple heat pipes and a large fan array. Under sustained load-like rendering of 4K video, temperatures climb into the high 80s Celsius, and the fans become audible, producing a low-pitched whine that can be heard across a conference room. It doesn't cause thermal throttling, but the noise level can be distracting if you're recording voiceovers or conducting remote meetings. For users who demand silent operation, this might be a reason to look at other workstations with quieter cooling designs, or to accept that a small trade-off for raw performance. Portability, as mentioned, is a double-edged sword. The chassis is built to meet MILST 810G durability standards, so you get a sturdy feel that can survive the occasional bump. However, that ruggedness adds weight, about 6.5 pounds. It's not something you'll fling into a cramped subway bag, but it does travel well in a rolling case. If you're a digital nomad who needs to slip a laptop into a backpack and hike up a train, the weight could become a pain point. On the flip side, the machine offers a good selection of ports, multiple Thunderbolt 4, HDMI 2.1, and a full-size Ethernet jack, meaning you can connect to external monitors, high-speed storage, and wired networks without needing a dongle hub. That port variety is a plus for power users who still need to plug into legacy peripherals on site. Software-wise, it ships with Windows 11 Pro and supports HP's vPro.